Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the most influential alternative groups that have helped shape the genre into what it is today.
And I don't know if I can do it.
Number 20, Cage the Elephant.
Was walking down the street when out the corner of my eye I saw a pretty little thing approaching me.
While they may be the newest band on this list, they've quickly proven that they're here to stay. Formed in 2006, they made an instant splash on the alt scene. Unafraid to experiment with different subgenres, their songs offer an array of distinctive sounds.
He said there ain't no rest for the wicked, money don't grow on trees.
Whether they're showing off their impressive lyricism in Ain't No Rest for the Wicked or creating dreamy indie bops like Cigarette Daydreams, their tracks have a way of sticking with people long after listening.
You can drive all night.
Their music has been used in several soundtracks, cementing their place in the entertainment industry. Considering they've been around for less than 20 years, the fact that they've made such an impact already is a testament to their talent.
Well, it's cold, 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 cold inside.
Number 19, Weezer.
Somebody's hiding, it's drowning my icebox.
They are proof that you don't have to take yourself too seriously to find success. Weezer quickly found a niche by making pop-inspired alternative tracks. Their catchy hooks are immediately recognizable, even to casual listeners. Leaning into a quirkier aesthetic, they showed early on that they weren't afraid to be different. Their work is authentic and catchy, which has helped them form a loyal fan base. Despite having been formed in the 1990s, Weezer has proven that they can still be successful in the modern age, with their cover of Africa charting in the Billboard Hot 100 in 2018. While they may be seen as underdogs by some, there's no doubt that they've carved out a permanent legacy for themselves.
Gonna take some time to do the things we never had.
Number 18, The Strokes.
Last night, she said,
You know you've made your mark when your debut is considered one of the best of an entire genre. The Strokes hit airwaves with a splash, immediately attracting a listener base via their infectious choruses. They came along at a time when the scene was moodier and immediately shook things up by bringing fun back into the equation. Their work serves as an homage to rock and roll's history, while also embracing modern production.
I said, please don't slow me down if I'm going too far.
The Strokes became one of the defining acts of the 2000s, even influencing other household names such as The Killers. Their legacy on both fans and fellow artists is undeniable, and luckily, it seems they have no intention of retiring anytime soon.
Hey, don't go there, 'cause you'll never return. I know you think of me when you think of her.
Number 17, Soundgarden. Before there was Nirvana, there was Soundgarden. One of the first grunge acts to come onto the Seattle scene, the group enjoyed underground success before catapulting to fame with their hit Black Hole Sun.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come?
They're known for incorporating dissonant chords, creating a sonically dark experience. Chris Cornell's incredible vocals helped sell that effect as well. Their reunion in the 2010s proved they hadn't lost any of what made them special, with their return album hitting the top 5 on Billboard. They only officially ended things after the sudden passing of Cornell in 2017. While people are saddened by the loss, they don't doubt that if he were still alive, they'd be releasing new music to this day.
I've been away for too long.
Number 16, The Cranberries. Dolores O'Riordan had one of the most distinctive voices of the 1990s, easily taking on both ballads and more intense songs. She used her voice as an instrument, sometimes even keening or yodeling.
What's in your head? In your head?
This This is apparent on Zombie, where her pained voice and gritty sound come together to create a sad yet powerful anti-war message. The Cranberries had a way of captivating their audience, and their varied catalog had something for everybody. Whether focusing on romanticism or themes of war, they were able to convey the different emotions distinctly. While they officially retired the year following O'Riordan's tragic 2018 passing, it's clear that they have left a mark behind that will last for the rest of their lives.
Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it leave?
Number 15, Talking Heads.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack.
At its core, one of the prime tenets of alternative rock is experimentation. Not having to commit to a mainstream sound means that the musicians have more freedom to experiment with their sound. No band exemplifies this more than the Talking Heads. They've been known as avant-garde since they started, with their unique videos immediately standing out. They've dabbled in various subgenres, experimenting with complex rhythms and melodies to create some of the most foundational pieces in the soundscape. The band also helped popularize new wave music, bringing about a style that is still popular today. While they've been retired for some time now, frontman David Byrne has continued to show off his creative prowess in his own solo work. Number 14, The Smiths. Defiantly going against traditional music conventions, the Smiths became an instant success in the UK.
A jumped up country boy who never knew his place.
They offered a completely different vibe to other acts of the 1980s, presenting themselves with a sense of authenticity that was clear to anyone who listened to them. The group's complete rejection of modern production also helped earn them cred amongst rock fans.
I was looking for a job and then I found a job.
They became the mouthpiece for the disaffected, creating visceral songs about complex yet common feelings. The Smiths' unique approach has become an inspiration for other musicians who don't want to compromise their integrity for fame.
So what difference does it make?
Number 13, The Pixies. Music is always growing and changing, with trends coming and going. Alternative rock is no exception, with some musicians creating new trends. The Pixies changed the course of their own careers by shifting the entire dynamic landscape. They played with volume, often ranging from quiet and subdued to loud and raucous during the span of a single piece. In doing so, they influenced other acts to utilize the same tactic in their own work. They also served as a transitional point for the genre, adding a level of maturity that made people regard it with newfound respect. Their work has inspired other legends of the scene, creating a legacy that goes far beyond their own discography. Number 12, Gorillaz.
I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag.
While the members of this band may be fictional, they've still become some of the most recognizable characters in the music industry. With their computer-generated identities, Gorillaz became one of the most unique acts in history. They released cutting-edge, heavily produced tracks that captivated audiences everywhere.
I'm useless, and not for long, the future is coming up.
There is even lore behind the fictional group, often being explored through their videos and other digital media. This has allowed supporters to become completely immersed, with each new release revealing more about the story.
Windmill for the land, I'm forever hand in hand.
Their use of synthesizers helped elevate the genre in the 2000s, taking it to an even higher level. The characters and their sound continue to evolve, making them one of the most interesting additions since alternative rock's inception. Number 11, Sonic Youth.
Everybody's talking about the stormy weather. What's a man to do but work out whether it's true?
Some of the most influential bands are the ones who created new sounds out of seemingly everyday things. Instrumentation became the main focus of many ensembles, as it became the key way to set themselves apart from the rest of the crowd.
Teenage riot in a public station. Gonna fight and tear it up in a hibernation.
Sonic Youth did this in an ingenious way. They used household items to manipulate their equipment. They were able to take seemingly normal items like screwdrivers and use them to create sounds that the industry had never seen before.
Betting on the bull and the heather.
This changed the landscape entirely, giving others inspiration to experiment with non-conventional items and tactics. Sonic Youth didn't just revolutionize the way music was made, they also served as the personification of the genre's defiant and free-spirited vibe.
Wastewood rockers, it's time to cry.
Number 10. Arctic Monkeys.
Stop making the eyes on me, I'll stop making the eyes at you.
Alternative rock hit a second peak in the early 2010s, with platforms like Tumblr helping popularize it and its darker aesthetics. This newfound admiration for the group helped catapult the Arctic Monkeys to immense fame. Their slightly gritty classic sound stood out amongst the club music popular at the time, helping to usher in a wave of moody, emotional tunes that resonated with younger generations.
And you're starting to bore me, baby. Why'd you only call me when you're high?
They've also proven that they don't need that sound to remain successful. Their most recent album experiments with a jazzier sound, bringing two distinct styles together in one cacophony of musical genius. While many of their contemporaries have faded to time, Arctic Monkeys have been able to adapt their sound to maintain their superstar status.
So do you wanna walk me to the car?
Number 9. The White Stripes.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back.
Creating one of the most iconic guitar riffs in modern history isn't easy, but they did it as if it were the simplest thing in the world. With their effortlessly cool attitudes and infectiously catchy drum work, the White Stripes helped repopularize garage rock.
And the feeling coming from my bones says find a home.
They seemed uninterested with the critical and commercial success they received, and rather focused on the art itself. That dedication to creativity has helped them carve out a place for themselves in alt history. Their versatility isn't just clear in their music, they've also helped several musicians experiment with their sound, as evidenced by Jack White's collaboration with Beyoncé. Their versatility has helped them become some of the most respected artists among fans and fellow creatives.
Left alone, I hit myself with a stone. Went home and learned how to clean up after myself.
Number 8. Pearl Jam.
Rest his head on a pillow made of concrete.
While they may have hit the grunge scene at the tail end of its mainstream success, Pearl Jam persevered and became one of the defining acts of the 90s. At the peak of their popularity, they even surpassed their predecessor, Nirvana. Their evocative and emotional lyrics, performed by Eddie Vedder, have become their calling card. Songs like Jeremy, in particular, cemented their popularity amongst the youth of that era, giving them music they could truly relate to. Vedder's raspy tone encapsulates the 90s sound and that era as a whole. Their continued passion for the craft, even after 3 decades, have proven that they were never just going to ride on the coattails of those who came before them. Number 7. Foo Fighters.
Hello, I've waited here for you.
Out of tragedy came one of the most iconic bands in alternative rock history. Following the untimely death of Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl could have given up and been known as a previous member of Nirvana. However, he flipped his legacy on its head and created the Foo Fighters.
And I wonder when I sing along with you.
They brought brought a fresh perspective, combining classic grunge sounds with a sense of joy that his previous discography lacked.
What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one of your play?
Their earnestness immediately captured the hearts of fans and critics. The 2022 passing of their drummer Taylor Hawkins could have been the end, but instead, they dedicated an album to him. Their perseverance acts as a beacon to those struggling, letting them know they too can overcome extreme adversity in their life.
Count every minute, living breath by breath by breath by breath.
Number 6, The Smashing Pumpkins.
Today is the greatest day I've ever known.
While other bands that defined genres had a slew of copycats try to copy their success, the Smashing Pumpkins managed to create a niche just for themselves. The group has been known to switch effortlessly between sounds, coming out with earnest, nostalgia-drenched dream pop one minute and heavy metal the next. They also exude a sense of theatricality that elevates both their recorded and live performances. Countless artists across various musical styles have been inspired by them, from pop stars like Nelly Furtado to emo ensembles like My Chemical Romance. As of 2023, they're still stretching the boundaries of music with their newest project, a rock opera. They've proven that old dogs can still come out with new tricks and perform them well. Number 5, The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
What I got, you got to give it to your mama. What I got, you got to give it to your papa.
One of the defining aspects of alternative rock is the effortless blending of various genres, creating a balancing act of different melodies. No act exemplifies this more than the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who incorporate elements from various styles like psychedelia and funk.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Their experimentation has gone on to inspire new categories as well, such as nu metal. Their creative lyricism and Anthony Kiedis' one-of-a-kind voice have helped them continue to stand out among their peers, even after 4 decades. Despite their ever-changing sound, their personality still shines through their work, making it instantly recognizable to long-term and new listeners alike. They continue to push boundaries in their work to this day, constantly reinventing both their sound and themselves.
I just wanna thrive and it's gonna be hysteria.
Number 4, The Cure.
I would say I'm sorry if I thought that it would change your mind.
The popularity of punk subculture brought out tons of new artists, but few have stood the test of time to still be considered influential.
Boys don't cry.
With their commitment to gothic aesthetics and themes, The Cure became not only a defining post-punk band, but a defining rock group as a whole. They helped bring the genre into the mainstream, charting at a time when the underground scene wasn't nearly as popular as it is today.
However far away, I will always love.
Robert Smith's unexpectedly smooth, beautiful vocals worked on both ballads and fast-paced songs, showing his versatility as a vocalist. They still continue to inspire new acts to this day, nearly 50 years after their inception. That kind of legacy you just can't fake.
Just like heaven.
Number 3, REM.
That's great, it starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane.
Without them, alternative music may not have reached the level of popularity it has today.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
During the 1980s, there was a period where fans still gravitated towards standard rock and roll, rather than the experimental work found in underground spaces. However, REM was able to connect the two, using their cynical yet emotive lyrics as a way of differentiating themselves from the optimism of the 1980s.
That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion.
From Losing My Religion to Everybody Hurts, they've always been able to capture the mindset of the listener.
Hold on, hold on.
The themes they sang about were felt by many, making their work accessible to a wide audience. Their impact cannot be understated. They're one of the defining pillars of the entire genre. Number 2. Radiohead.
When you were before, couldn't look you in the eye.
They're living proof that your most successful song doesn't have to define the rest of your career. While the acoustic classic Creep helped them find mainstream success early on, the members of Radiohead made it clear they weren't planning on it being their legacy.
What the hell am I doing here?
Their albums experimented with sound and form, using heavy production as a way to invoke intense emotion. They were also one of the first to use the internet to promote themselves, introducing them to a worldwide audience that has remained loyal to them. They continue to stay hard at work, creating new visions that push musical boundaries. They're not only one of the most prominent alternative artists, they're one of the most influential bands in history.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Nirvana.
Come as you are, as you were.
In the early 1990s, radio was being dominated by the glamorous, highly produced pop of the late 80s. When Nirvana hit the scene with their dark rock instrumentation, gritty lyrics, and punk attitudes, they turned the industry on its head.
Take your time, hurry up.
Their songs were laced with cynicism, offering a reprieve from the corporate, faux optimistic tunes that were popular among the mainstream. While they only had a few singles under their belt, they became instant classics, such as their defining piece, Smells Like Teen Spirit. They helped popularize grunge music to the masses, changing the musical landscape entirely. Kurt Cobain's sudden death may have signaled the end of their reign, but the mark they made on rock will never fade. Which alternative band do you think has left the biggest legacy? Let us know in the comments below.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.